now that we've got the original suspension components removed, we can get to installing the air ride. Now this is the original spring that we took off of the S-10 chassis. This is a 2600 series airbag that we're going to be putting in. A lot of guys run a 2500 series that's slightly smaller than this with the stock 6-cylinder engine, but we're putting a small block V8 in this. So of course we're going to need a bigger bag so it rides better because it doesn't need the extra air to lift the heavy V8 engine up. Now the first thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to be installing this upper bag cup mount. This is pretty cool. It's just a universal cheap item from eBay. It basically fits up into your stock spring cup here and bolts through the original shock mount hole. I'm just going to mount this loosely for now just to show you. Now with that in there, your bag's basically going to sit up in like that. So you can see how close we are already with no air in it. This spring cup is pretty much sitting on the edge of the bag. Over time, when you air up and drop the vehicle, that's going to rub on the bag and eventually it's going to blow the bag out. Very dangerous. So what we're going to do is you're going to need to cut basically a small notch. This is just a quick sketch here. Show you about what we're going to have to cut out there. So we're going to have to cut out that area there, and then there's also a spot underneath a little lip that we're going to have to clearance as well to fit the bag in. Now you may not have to cut as much out if you're using the smaller 2500 series bags, but these 2600 series are a little bit bigger and they do require a larger notch here. So once we get that notched out, we'll fit it in, make sure everything's correct. Then we'll start fitting up the upper bag cups and we'll show you how to install the bag to the lower control arm from there. So let's get started on this part. Okay, at this point we're pretty much ready to go back together with our fresh suspension parts. To get to this point, we started with the VersaCut plasma cutter. We cut a nice notch out here for the bag to fit up in when everything's aired out. Now I put a little bit of rubber edging along our cuts just to make sure that everything's nice and smooth so that if the bag does get really close to that cut, it's not a sharp edge that's going to cut the bag and we'd have to replace it. So we also, along the way, we hit everything up with chassis black and rust encapsulator first to just take care of any surface rust. Then we sealed it up with chassis black so it's going to stay looking good as time goes on we're driving it. We also rebuilt the front spindles with new bearings and seals, and we're also using ProForge drilled and slotted rotors to help with the stopping power, and we're tying everything together with ProForge steering components so that this thing's going to be nice and tight and all these components are going to last for a lifetime of the truck. So let's get up putting everything together now. Okay, now that we've got the Pro Forge suspension and steering parts all mounted up, we're going to put this front end back on the truck and test the front air ride suspension to make sure that it goes as low as I want and then back up to a comfortable ride height. After we verify that everything's okay there, we're going to take the front end back off and we're going to pull this engine out and clean up the chassis and get everything looking as good as all these other new suspension parts look. So stay tuned for the next video. Things should be progressing pretty quickly.